Korea will be a really beautiful country. Next is Kim Min-jung, first grade, class number 16, and the title is A Multicultural Society, Koreans' Double Standard to See Foreigners.
Hello everyone, my name is Kim Min-jung. Today I want to talk about a multicultural society, which one is issue about Koreans' double standard to see foreigners. With the advance of multicultural, it is not uncommon for us to see foreigners. Facing these situations, OECD advised Korea not to use the phrases, Korea is a racially homogeneous nation. One multicultural couple out of 10 married couples goes to meet foreigners as a life partner, and by the time 2020, one baby out of 3 babies is expected to be a child of multicultural homes. Foreigners favored by Koreans are white men of European and North Americans, but most foreigners in Korea are Chinese and Southeasterns, and they feel comfortable to be accepted by Koreans. We know that we have to live with them, but it isn't easy because they are still strangers to us. Under these circumstances, it is impossible for them to live a comfortable and happy life in Korea. We Koreans apply a double standard to foreigners. If that was the case, how do they think and feel about Koreans' double standard? Although children of multicultural homes have mixed feelings that though they are told that they are Koreans, they have difficulty communicating with their mother in Korean, and their appearance isn't like that of Koreans. What is necessary for them to live as Koreans? They have to overcome numerous stereotypes and misunderstandings because of their appearance and their parents' nationality. There is no room for further improvements because these matters are beyond their efforts. If they continue to live under these circumstances, is it possible for them to learn to live with Koreans? This is a problem for all to make efforts to solve. Koreans living in foreign countries experience racial discrimination merely because of their face color. Nobody imagines how difficult this segregation is. While we agree that we live in globalization and we should live a happy life together, I think it isn't right that we push a double standard to foreigners and don't pay attention to them. Even if their appearance isn't like that of Koreans, they're truly Koreans and they have to be respected as Koreans. Recognizing that their happiness is our happiness, we have to proceed into a multicultural era to coexist. Thank you for your kind attention.
Hurricane Tide reminded our wrong attitude to ourselves. Next is Shin Jae-wook, first grade, class number 9, about multicultural society.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shin Jae-wook from the first grade. Now, I want to talk about one of the country's most serious issue, multicultural society. Before I start, I want to show you 2 pictures. First, this picture shows a family in deep grief. What do you think that brought this huge tragedy to this family? It would be a sorrow of losing their daughter. In the last year, this Vietnam woman was killed by her Korean husband, and it brought a huge shock to this community. However, this is not the only case. As we know, the reality of multicultural people has been a rising issue for the several years. There are over 1 million foreigners in Korea, and 11% of them even get married and have their family on our land. Despite their huge contribution to our nation's power, however, these people have to go through harsh discriminations and inhuman treatments in their lives. The case of Vietnam wife I mentioned is just one case of those huge and myriad hardships of those peoples. So we can see four main factors for these: cultural conflict, communication problems, discriminated gaze of public with bias, and economical problems. In particular, discrimination and economic problems are the most serious issue in these days. Because they have come from Southeast Asian countries, they mainly get jobs with low wages and a lot of difficulties, and they're also unlikely to get along with their neighbors. However, we should remember that our ancestors were once faced with similar difficulties on the other side of the globe. Our history remembers that the groups of miners and nurses sent to Germany for their motherland, Korea. In a similar way, we should not forget that these foreign people are the same as our grandparents. So, how can we support? No, I'm sorry. However, people are often concerned about the decrease of birth rates, which may cause a lack of the workers to fill the jobs in the future. However, this huge space can be filled with those foreigners from all over the world. Likewise, people can notice this necessity of the multicultural society at everywhere. Especially, people can get diversity and creativity by embracing these people, because these various people have different minds and the diverse experience. So, how can we support this diverse group with different cultural background? Of course, there will be solutions like increasing welfare system or providing the protection by law. However, I believe that the key to support these various groups is education. Appropriate education can change the public's mind about accepting the differences and embracing other peoples, so that the entire attitude toward the multicultural society would be changed. As a result, when it considers both 2 points, I'm sure that we can expect the bright future of Korea and bright lives for millions of peoples from the different cultures. Remember, preserving their happiness is preserving our happiness. Thank you.
Well, it's true that education is needed for embracing different cultures. Now, it's time to meet the group A2. Let's start with Tae So-young, 2nd grade, class number 18, and the title is Food Troubles and GMOs.